What is up, gamers? We're here for something a little different today. This video showed up in my recommended, and I was like, yeah, I need something to watch while I'm at work with nothing to do. I need something to listen to while I'm driving, you know? You know how it is. So, started watching it, and I was like, every so often, you just kind of hear something that makes you just tilt your head a little. You're like, wait, hold on. What? That doesn't sound right. So, yeah, I just wanted to go over some of the misinformation in this video and just kind of correct it, just because I was originally going to leave a comment, but near the end of the video, something so ridiculous was said that I was just like, no, I have to make a video about this. This is just absurd. I'm not going to sit here and watch the whole hour and 20-minute video on, while recording, obviously. I'm just going to kind of skip around to the parts where I want to correct what was incorrectly stated. But yeah, other than that, really good video, especially for, someone with only 2.6 thousand subscribers. I feel like it's kind of crazy nowadays, the amount of YouTube videos you see where you're like, wow, this is really good. And then you look at their subscribers and they just have like no one subscribed to them. So yeah, definitely give the video a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm obviously not trying to direct any hate or anything towards the video. I hate when there's misinformation and it's stuff that could easily have been avoided with just a couple extra seconds of Googling. Because, it sucks when a video blows up, it's got misinformation, then a bunch of people think that that's the truth, even though it's not, and then that's how things like that spread. So yeah, Det Summer said, if you end up seeing this, like I said, not trying to direct any hate towards you or anything like that, just wanted to correct it. And yeah, here we go. So yeah, this first one is pretty minor, but
and gave us many great and not so great zombie maps over the next decade. But it all started with this one game. 4 DLCs would be released for this title: First Strike, Escalation, Annihilation, and Resurrection.
So yeah, obviously Black Ops was not the game where it all started. That would be World at War. And, he does mention World at War, obviously. You're not going to be this level of invested into COD Zombies where you're making an hour and 20-minute video about, I mean, to be fair, it's 3 videos put together, but still, you know what I mean? You're not going to be making a 30-minute video, like basically 3 30-minute videos about Call of Duty Zombies and be like, I don't know about World at War. I've never seen it. So it just seems weird to be like, Black Ops is where it all started.
People attribute this exact decision to the termination of Jimmy Zielinski. Jimmy would later be fired from the company after what can only be considered as contractual obligations, such as finishing his final zombie map.
So yeah, there's no information, as far as I have been able to find, that says that Jimmy Z got fired from Treyarch. Everything that I've found says that he left of his own volition. So, I mean, maybe there's some obscure article somewhere or some obscure video where it's like, yeah, dude, trust me, my dad works at Treyarch. Jimmy Z got fired. Jason Blundell came in and he hit him with a Shoryuken, and that was that. They fired him right after that. But yeah, as far as I'm able to find, he was not fired. And then here he is talking about Die Rise and just how, the map was doo-doo poo-poo and no one liked it.
However, it seemed like fans and content creators were quickly growing tired of this abomination of a map. The Easter egg steps to this day are unclear on how to solve and require a serious amount of guesswork.
So yeah, that's just not true at all. You can look up guides on how to do both the Maxis and Richtofen side of the Easter egg. There's no guesswork or anything like that. There are some puzzles that you have to solve, which you can either use like a cheat sheet or you can actually legitimately solve them. But, that's like a lot of the COD Zombies Easter eggs. It's not like it's like, you know, you're just kind of standing around in one area of the map and it's just like, oh, just keep shooting the wall where the M is on the wall, and then eventually it'll work and it'll move you on to the next step. All right, so this next one is a pretty big one. The kind of thing where it's like kind of difficult to make this kind of mistake if you know what you're talking about, you know?
Also innovated upon. It doesn't end there. The Hell's Retriever also has an upgrade path. By using the Hell's Retriever to retrieve 5 hidden skulls around the map, it can then be upgraded into the Hell's Redeemer.
So yeah, obviously that's not true. The skulls are for the free Blundergat. To upgrade the Hell's Retriever, you have to go to the bridge and get a certain amount of kills with the Hell's Retriever, which I honestly still don't even know how many you actually need, but once you hear the afterlife sound effect, you're good to go back and then, you know, do the rest of it, throw it into the lava and all that.
Black Ops 3 had a really strange launch. You see, Black Ops 3 was the first Call of Duty to have a beta release.
So that's just not true. The first Call of Duty to get a playable beta was COD 4. World at War also had one. And I don't need to play more of the clip, but he goes on to talk about how not only was Black Ops 3 the first Call of Duty to get a beta, but also that it was weird at the time for console games to get a beta, which is also not true because COD 4 World at War, they had a beta on console. Halo Reach also quickly comes to mind as a game that had a beta on console.
The shield also has an upgrade path, allowing the shield to hit harder and kill faster. The unfortunate part about the upgraded shield is that its durability remains the same, and when the shield breaks, it's gone forever.
So most of that, I honestly can't say one way or the other whether that's true. I don't know if it actually does more damage. I don't know if it actually doesn't get an increase in durability. I've heard from other people that it does get an increase in durability, but honestly, I have no idea because I'm not really familiar with the upgraded shield other than the only thing I knew was that you get a 4th charge. So instead of having 3 charges, you have 4. And I also know that last statement is not true, that if you break it, then once you pick it back up, it'll be the regular shield again. When the game was relatively new, that was the case, but they patched that a long time ago. So now, if the shield breaks and you pick it up again, it'll still be upgraded.
Are 3 different symbols. These symbols are different every single time you play Shadows of Evil, and the only way to be able to see them is by taking the tram from district to district.
Once again, not true. There are ways that you can see the symbols without using the train. Here's just one example. And this is kind of an older method, but you know, I thought I got to the point in the video where the guy actually did it. But yeah, you jump up on this wire, walk up, jump up onto the roof, drop down back like that. And yeah, there are tricks. That's definitely the hardest one in Footlight. But there are tricks for all 3 of them that you can use without using the train.
This boss zombie prevents the player from staying in a location for too long because he slowly follows you around the map. And if he gets to you, he can kill you almost instantly with a single hit if you do not have the perk Juggernog equipped. The boss...
So that one's not necessarily misinformation. It's just something kind of weird that it's just like, why would you say that? Because George does the same amount of damage as normal zombies. So any normal zombie can almost kill you instantly in one hit if you don't have Jug. So it seems kind of weird to say that about George when that's true of any zombie. It seems like one of those things where it's either like he's trying to like build George up to make him sound more threatening, or it's like one of those things where the teacher is like, write a 1,000 word essay and you're at like 990 words and you need to fluff it up a little bit more just to get to that word requirement. And then this next one, I actually want to skip over because that is the big one that I thought was so ridiculous that I needed to make a video. So we're going to move on to the last little piece that I've got here.
But beyond the purpose of slowing down George, it serves no other purpose.
So again, another small one, but he's saying that the water, other than to calm down George, doesn't do anything. It doesn't serve any purpose, which obviously is not true. It's not only there to calm down George, but it's also there to add challenge and to make the game harder for the players as well.
The boss zombie of Call of the Dead doesn't allow you to train in a location for very long, forcing you to run around the map to find a new location. This completely changes the concept of training that had been previously well known as a strategy in the zombies community. Because of this, Call of the Dead is one of the only zombie maps where round 100 is entirely unobtainable. The reasons for this are complicated, but it essentially comes down to Call of Duty games having an in-game timer, and when this timer maxes out, the game resets. The boss zombie that follows the player around causes the game to run longer, and therefore is the reason that Call of the Dead round 100 is impossible. Now,
So, obviously, if you know anything about high rounds in COD Zombies, you know how absolutely absurd that statement is. Saying that because George slowly walks around the map and doesn't let you train in the same spot for the entire game, that is the reason you can't get round 100 on solo. That is just the I heard that and I just immediately paused everything and I was like, I stop writing my comments. I'm making a video about this. This is ridiculous. So, yeah, obviously, if you know anything about high rounding COD Zombies, you know that in World at War through Black Ops 3, you need something that does infinite damage since the zombies' health scales infinitely. So you need something like a wonder weapon, you need traps, stuff like that. Something like the thunder gun, the electric traps, the acid trap on Mob of the Dead, as well as the Hell's Redeemer. Anything that can kill the zombies once their health gets so absurdly high that any normal weapon can't do it. And on Call of the Dead, there are almost no options for that because the VR11 can technically kill zombies, but you have to use 3 shots to kill one zombie. And that'll just kind of make him explode. And then, yeah, the scavenger doesn't do infinite damage. There are no traps either. On co-op, you can use the VR11 to shoot your teammate and give them an insta-kill effect. But yeah, on solo, that's not an option. You can't shoot yourself with it, unfortunately. So the only way to get infinite damage on Call of the Dead is to get the Wonder Waff from killing George after you have completed the Easter egg. And the problem with that is that once you kill George, it takes 2 rounds, I think. It's either 2 or 3, but I think it's 2 before George will come back. And the Wonder Waff doesn't make any drop spawn, so you're not going to be getting any max ammos while you have the Wonder Waff, unless you use PhD Flopper. But if you're on a low enough round that you can kill the zombies with PhD Flopper, you won't even need the Wonder Waff anyways. Because the Wonder Waff is so limited, you can't, just spin the box to get it back. You have to kill George to get it. Round 100 just wasn't possible for solo. And then if that wasn't bad enough, it actually is possible to get round 100 on Call of the Dead. Back in April of 2024, on April 2nd, someone got the first round 100 on Call of the Dead. And this was with a strategy that was discovered where you just keep reboarding the windows. And then the zombies will get stuck in the window. And basically they have a timer to where if they're stuck for too long outside of the map, they'll just die. That way the game doesn't get stuck on like round 10 or whatever, you know. Say like a zombie is stuck outside the map, it won't just soft lock the game. And there's a really good video on that by Wonderful. They go over like, you know, the history of Call of the Dead. They get into like the strategy when it was discovered and all that. The first person to get round 100 with it. Really good video. Definitely check it out. Give them a like and a sub. They do a lot of really good Call of Duty zombies records, like history videos. Basically, you know, like summoning salt, but for Call of Duty zombies. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to go over. Like I said, overall, really good video. Just could have used a little more research, just a couple things that could have been Googled if you weren't sure. And like I said, not trying to send any hate or anything, just wanted to correct the misinformation. Definitely drop a sub, leave a like, all that good stuff. So yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, you're awesome. Thank you all so much for watching. This is your reminder to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And if there is one, I will see you all for the next one. Bye-bye.